welcome back to Sometimes They Continue to Speak. Tonight you'll hear 3 true ghost stories, accounts that still haunt the people who lived them, and might just haunt you too. She heard me laughing, but I wasn't home. Growing up, my sister's bedroom was right next to mine. The walls were thin, you could hear everything, so nothing she told me that afternoon should have surprised me, but it did. She came up to me with this strange look on her face and asked, "What were you doing last night? You were laughing. A lot." I frowned immediately. Laughing? What do you mean? She said it started around 3 a.m. She'd been asleep when my voice jolted her awake. My laugh, echoing through the wall, over and over again. She told me it didn't sound like normal laughing either. It sounded wrong, too loud, too close. Then she said, "It sounded like you were pacing, back and forth, laughing to yourself the whole time." My stomach dropped, because I wasn't home. I hadn't even stepped foot in the house that night. I told her I was at a friend's place. I didn't get back until the next morning. She just stared at me. All the color drained from her face. She looked genuinely terrified. To this day, she still swears it was my laughter. She said no one else laughs like I do. My laugh is too distinct, too recognizable. But someone, or something, was pacing the floor in my empty bedroom at 3 a.m., laughing in my voice. The boy in the corner at 3 a.m. I've had a lot of strange experiences in my life, but this one still makes my skin crawl. It happened when my youngest son was 4 years old. One night, exactly 3 a.m., he woke me up crying uncontrollably from a nightmare. I figured it was just a normal bad dream, so I held him until he calmed down. Then he told me he was hungry, so we headed to the kitchen for a quick snack. The house was quiet, in that strange, heavy way it only is at 3 in the morning. Just the hum of the fridge and the creak of the old floorboards. My son was sitting at the table eating cereal when suddenly he froze. His eyes slowly lifted from the bowl and locked onto something behind me, something in the darkest corner of the room. Without any fear in his voice, he said, "The boy who woke me up is sitting over there. He's crying." I turned and looked at the empty corner. No one was there. No movement, nothing. Trying to play along, I whispered, "Why is he crying?" My son didn't hesitate. His mommy crashed the car up the road. He's trying to figure out what's happening. He woke me up. Can you tell him to go? Now, I'm thinking he's still half asleep, shaken from the nightmare. But the way he was staring at that corner, it didn't feel like imagination. Still, to comfort him, I turned toward the empty space and spoke softly. "Hey kid, go back to your mom." My son went back to eating, and for a moment, the kitchen felt normal again. He eventually handed me his empty bowl, and I asked, half joking, if the boy had left. My son looked up at me with a completely serious expression and said, "Yes. He said the ambulance is coming. It's okay. They're all dead anyway." Before I could even react, the distant wail of sirens began to rise. Then, seconds later, police cars and an ambulance tore past our house, lights flashing, sirens shaking the windows. The dread that washed over me in that moment didn't feel natural. My whole body went cold. The hair on the back of my neck stood straight up. I tried to shake it off, tried to convince myself it was coincidence, tried to believe it was just the wild imagination of a scared 4-year-old. Days later, my neighbor casually mentioned a horrible wreck just a mile up the road. A woman had been driving too fast around a curve. She flipped the car. No one survived. And it happened at 3 in the morning. The exact night, the exact time, my son said a crying boy woke him up. I didn't ask if a child was in the car. Part of me already knew. The woman in the closet. I've had a lot of creepy experiences in my life, but this one still messes with me because I wasn't the only one who saw it. I was about 12 years old, sitting on the edge of my dad's bed, just talking with him like it was any normal night. The bedroom was dim, just the soft light of a lamp flickering against the walls. My mom was in the walk-in closet with the lights off, but we could still see her silhouette perfectly. She was standing there, folding clothes, her usual messy bun perched on top of her head. My dad asked her a question in the middle of our conversation. No answer. He asked again. Nothing. By the 3rd time, he raised his voice, annoyed now. His voice echoed in the room, bouncing off the walls. Still, not a single response. So I got up, walked toward the closet, and stepped right up to the doorway. And that's when I heard it. Footsteps behind me, coming from the hallway. I turned around and my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. My mom was standing there, in the doorway, fresh out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, asking why my dad was yelling her name. For a moment, everything went silent. My dad looked at her, I looked at her. Then we both slowly turned our heads back toward the closet. It was empty, completely empty, just darkness. The figure, the one we had both seen clearly, was gone. But we had seen it, the shape of her body, the way it moved, even the hair pulled up in the same bun my mom wore every single day. My dad and I just stared at each other with this look, this silent realization that whatever had been in that closet, it wasn't my mom. It mimicked her perfectly. Her height, her build, her movements, and it stood there in the dark, folding clothes that weren't actually being touched at all. To this day, I still get chills thinking about the fact that something that looked exactly like my mother was standing just a few feet away from me, and we both saw it. You've just heard 3 true encounters, each a reminder that some things move through our homes, our dreams, and our nights without ever wanting to be seen. Thank you for joining me on Sometimes They Continue to Speak. If you enjoyed tonight's stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your own haunting experiences below. Stay safe, and if you hear footsteps or laughter in the dark tonight, pretend you didn't.